Alright, so today is Monday, September 21st, getting started here. Let me bring up the first set of questions. Alright, from Adrian, I'm really struggling with working out how many links I need to rank sites. Say I am building a new site for SEO Newark. How would I work out how many sites I need, of what power, and how long it would take to rank a term like this? I'm interested in the process you would use rather than this specific example. Your help much appreciated. I mean, it depends what type of links you're doing, how new the site is, what keywords are in the domain name, how powerful the PBNs are, and how well you do your optimization. So it's tough to say how long something's going to rank. Links are definitely taking a lot longer to kick in now, which I think is really smart of Google because their search results are pretty darn good. I mean, when you search something in Google, you're pretty much going to get what you're looking for. So there's no reason for them to rank, brand new sites and have the chance of people doing spam and just being able to take over the results, which are already good. So I'm noticing more and more that links take longer and longer and longer to kick in. Like, for example, a while ago I showed this example, Matt on the mainline. This is a PBN here. And this particular PBN, I just threw up the old site and then I put a link down here, Delaware Personal Chef. Okay, and part of the reason I did this was to test, a site that was built from the Wayback Machine. It was just the beginning of that testing. This Colin just came out with that in the OMG Command Center tool. Now I also just wanted to test having a link that had nothing to do with anything else on the site. To prove that it doesn't need to be relevant still for you to rank. So the site I'm linking to is Carolyn Cook Tonight, something like that. And when it started, it was on page 40, or I'm sorry, it was number 40, like page 4, something like that. And here it's number 5. Okay, but if you guys remember, I probably did this maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and over the past couple months or few months, I've shown the example a couple times, and for a while, it was at number 12, okay? So for a while, it was like, it moved up. It was actually number 14, 15, something like that. And that was, a month or two after. And then, a month later, it started showing up here around number 11. And then, another month later or so, I'm just guessing here, it was around like 9, 8, 10, kind of jump between there. Now we're like 4 or 5 months later, and look where it is. It's up number... Sorry, I'm on page 3 now. I think it's up at number 5 now, okay? So, I mean, that just shows that links are just taking a while to kick in because, again, I don't think they have a reason to... Again, I think it's smart because their results are so good, there's no reason for them to just bump up sites automatically. I mean, if their results are already good, it makes sense for them to slow things down, and if a link's not there for a while, then it's not going to be as credible. The longer the link's there, the more credible it's going to be. So it's taking more patience now, but just know that what we're doing is working. You just got to have confidence in it, and it's just going to take more time. And again, I think it's the right move for Google to do that, and it makes it a little tougher on us, but it also opens up opportunities where a lot of people are going to give up, and they're not going to know what to do. They're going to be on page 2 for a while, frustrated, give up. So if you know what's going on and you understand that you're going to move up as long as you have the optimization correct, then you have a big advantage because you can explain that to your clients. You can kind of know that for your own benefit. But yeah, how many links from Adrian? It just depends. It depends on way too many factors to answer that. But if you're talking like an SEO site, medium competition, well optimized, I don't know, average 5, 10 PBN links, depending on the power of them and how well you do your optimization. But then, on the other hand, we had the Iowa City SEO example where we only used 3 PBNs, and we're number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got the top 6 spots for Iowa City SEO. And that's a low competition, I would say. But then even Iowa SEO, I think we're number 1. Yeah, we're number 1 for Iowa SEO. Number 3, number 4, number 7. number 9, and this is again all through just 3 PBN links. Iowa SEO is a little more competitive. We got 42 million competitors, so I mean it can be done. It just depends on your optimization, how well you do everything. And we were talking about how bad the Eagles game was here, so if you're wondering what that is. All right, from Ryan. I created a lead generation site out of a powerful expired domain similar to America Speaks. Is there anything I should obviously not do or painful mistakes to avoid? Just make sure the site's healthy, Ryan. Do the penalty check when you get content up. Make sure it's showing correctly. That's the most important thing that I would worry about, Ryan, is just make sure that it's not penalized. Do you use email marketing much? And if so, how big of a part of your business is it? I do, but I'm not the one who does it. Mike does all the email marketing for OMG. A lot of my affiliate sites I don't. I could probably make more money, but I'm more just into that. Like I enjoy SEO. I wouldn't really enjoy email marketing, even though it could make me more money. For me, I would rather enjoy what I do. I could bring on partners and have them manage that, but just I don't. I just have fun doing SEO, so that's kind of what I focus on. But not to throw that off. I mean, email marketing can be a huge part of the business. What Mike does for OMG with email marketing is huge. So it can really take you to another level if you do it and you do it right. All right, from Thierry. If a PBN that appears to be clean has many site-wide links from other domains, which means that the PBN is showing around 200,000 links in there from 1K referring domains, can it still be a good one despite the large amount of links coming in from site-wide links? It was an old news site, thanks. Yeah, that can be totally fine. Especially if it's mostly coming from one site that's just a huge site. I mean, that's fine. But I think you can run into problems if you have an unnatural amount of site-wide links. I don't even know how many that would be, but you should be fine there. All right, from Ben. I purchased a new EMD without first checking it in Site Explorer, and it turns out it had expired several years ago. Yeah, a lot of people make that mistake, guys. Just because you register a brand new domain, like if we go to Namecheap, we don't have a ton of questions yet, so I'm going to go into a little more detail on some of these questions. So if we go and re-register this site here, right? I'm just going to use one that I know is going to be available. But just imagine it's like, NashvilleSEO.com. Oh, that's available? Holy crap. Nashville SEO available. That's crazy. I'm going to get that before anyone else does. Well, people don't understand. Remember, we know about expired domains, right? Guess what? When a site is registered, it will go after, if someone doesn't renew it, it'll go to the auction phase, okay? If no one picks it up at the auction phase, it goes into the expired domain phase where you can pick up sites just like this that have power to them or expired domains, or it used to be owned by someone else. All the links that were done before are still there. So if this site right here, which we're pretending was NashvilleSEO.com, this could have been previously owned. And a lot of people don't understand that. When they go register a site at GoDaddy.com or Namecheap or anywhere else you get domains, it could have a history. Just because you're registering it, quote unquote, a new domain at these domain services doesn't mean it's necessarily clean or that it has no history. So what I always do is I'll take this and I'll run it through Ahrefs or you can go see if it was dropped and stuff like that. All you do is check in Ahrefs or something like that, and okay, there's no results for that. So that means currently there's no links there, which usually is the extent that I bring it to. Now, there is sites where you'll put it through here and you'll see there's a whole ton of links. So that means it was previously owned. You got to be very careful about that. You're probably just better off finding a new domain with an added word or whatever the case. But the point is, just because a site is available, that quote unquote a brand new domain doesn't mean it's brand new. Just because they're available here, they could have been previously owned. Someone could have spammed it. It could have went through the whole auction phase. No one wanted it there because it was all spammed. So it gets put back into the expired domain pool, which goes right back into these regular hosting or these regular domain companies like Namecheap and GoDaddy, and you can pick them up. And it seems like it's a new site, but it's not. I mean, it's somewhat new. It kind of got put through the process, but all those links that were previously built are still affecting the health of that site. And a lot of people don't understand that. But anyway, I just want to bring that up because he mentioned it. I should check for buying. It seems to have one bad but powerful link from a Russian site. My question is, can I disavow the link and then use it as a PBN to send only to Web 2.0s? Or better to just forget about it? Related question. The site with the bad link is xyz.com, and the new... Well, let me answer this one first. Usually, then I will just get rid of them. For me, there's no reason to even risk it. But I mean, I would do a penalty check, and if it passes, you can use it. But if it doesn't pass, or if it doesn't pass, I'll usually throw it out. Okay, I just won't use it at all. It's not worth it to me. If it's questionable, which is rare, then I might use it for like a Web 2.0 type thing. All right, but other than that, I'll throw it out if it doesn't pass at all. Related question: the site with the bad link is xyz.com, and the new clean domain I bought for my money site is xyz.net. It is a footprint to send a link from a domain with a URL that's identical except for the TLD to the URL for the money site. I don't know. I've never done that, Ben, so I don't know how they treat that, to be honest. I would say as long as they're on different IPs, different hosting and all that, it should be fine. That's what I would think, but I've never, I don't have any testing results for that, so I can't say like 100% that would be fine, but I would bet money that it would be. If you're going to do it, I would use like a branded anchor text or generic. I wouldn't use money keyword anchor text, with the domains being so similar though. All right, what is the difference between local and national SEOs? Obviously, more links. I mean, national SEO is going to be more competitive, more, it's more competitive, I would say, is the main difference. Do you prefer to use lower metrics niche domains for your PBN or high metric generic PBNs? High metric, Angel. What's the best way to show a potential client the historic keyword rankings for their site if you don't have access to their Google Analytics? I don't know if I've ever shown the historic keyword rankings for a client. I don't know if SEO Rush does that. Is that the name of it? I think it's SEM Rush. So let's see. So let me take my example from earlier. I don't think this shows history. I'm just checking. I've never really tried to do it. I don't know. You can ask that in the Facebook group. I've never really looked into that. Yeah, they're not showing it because these keywords don't have enough searches. But all right, do you still recommend vKraken Social Explosion on a money site subdomain? You can, Angel, but I mean, you're not going to get much power. It will help a little bit. It depends what type of site it is for me. Usually, honestly, I don't use it. Just more something that I want people to know is available, that they can power up their site a little bit by doing it. But I do always use Social Explosion. I don't use vKraken really, but I will always use Social Explosion on my money sites and PBNs. When we hear that a keyword is hard to rank for, is that determined by searching the term in Google and looking at the competition competing search results. I mean, for me, David, I gauge it by that, and then also, how common is the keyword to be searched, just kind of by, my standards. So, I know something like, SEO Chicago is going to be searched a lot more than SEO Wilmington, Delaware. Those are two pretty easy to distinguish competitive between those two. I know cheap car insurance is extremely competitive because a lot of people are searching for that, and it's a big money market. So you can kind of gauge just by the search, how the niche it's in and how many people about would search it. You can even use the Google keyword tool. And then, of course, on top of that, you can look at the metrics of the site's ranking. How old they are, how many root domains they have, how well they're optimized, all that type of stuff. And that part of it comes with a little bit of time and experience. All right, from Matt. You're welcome, Matt. I use Host9 for my main SEO city site hosting. I have had it lock up twice in the last month. It told me to use W3 Total Cache to help it not lock up. I know nothing about this plugin. Could it have any adverse effects? I don't know anything about it either, Matt. I've had a couple of complaints about Host9 in the past month. I haven't had problems with them, but yeah, I'm not sure. If they're saying to use it, I would just go with what they're saying. And then, if you keep having problems, just move host. But I haven't had problems with Host9. I got a lot of sites with them. I'm hearing different things about SEO hosting and BizBuilder, with some people saying that it is unsafe and that Google may know about these IP addresses. I believe that is the argument. Do you still recommend using SEO hosting and BizBuilder hosting for money sites and PBNs? Are you still using those services for your business? Eric, check out the Q&A webinar in my section. We have it divvied up where we have questions, the timestamps of the webinar, the questions that people asked, or the most common questions. So you can go to that specific time frame and see what I say about it. And there's one about in there on SEO hosting that I explain. Again, that's in my section. Regarding PBN links, is it critical to direct link the appropriate anchor text from PBNs to our buffer sites as opposed to RSS linking? I wouldn't say critical, but it's the most powerful thing, Rob. Linking directly to a money site is going to give you the most power in almost all cases. It's a little more dangerous. So, beginners, we do recommend obviously the SEO method where you're linking like Web 2.0s and socials at least first. At least get the trust up if you're going to link directly before you link directly. But critical, you can rank sites without linking directly, so I wouldn't say critical. But again, linking directly does have the most power. So for a local lead site that serves many multiple cities for the same product niche, what is the best practice now? Can I use the same content on different city pages like site.com/city? It's still working, Jeff. Still working. Cotton Site still ranks. And that's what he does. And there's Cotton right there, and that's exactly what he does. I think he's still ranking for all this stuff, yeah. So you can still do it, Jeff, but that's something they could put an end to. So it's up to you what you want to do there. But yeah, Cotton still does it. What's your thoughts on doing a 301 redirect to a niche-related domain with good age and decent metrics and setting a link to that 301 with related anchors? What's your thoughts on doing a 301 to a niche-related domain I'm just trying to picture this scenario. One to a niche-related domain. I mean, it depends why you're doing that. I would say Angel. I don't mess with it a ton, but I think you're saying to use it to protect the site. So if you have a 301 going to a site and it gets penalized, and you can just take off 301 and point those links elsewhere. But that's not guaranteed to take away the penalty. So it depends why you're asking that question. I don't mess with that stuff a ton, but it could work, could not work. If updating or retheming a PBN site, is it best to add content and not get rid of pre-existing content? And can we retheme a gardening site into a survival site just by adding theme pages and content? First of all, yes, you can retheme by adding, the different content. And sometimes I'll get rid of pre-existing content, Rob. For example, if you have a client, you used a PBN just for them, and they were a crappy client, I'm not using that, but I'm not going to leave that content up. If it's a good client, I'll leave it up and just, that'll be dedicated to them. They're a good client. I'll leave it up, let them have their rankings. If it was a crappy client and they, just were hard to work with, screw them. I'm going to take down the content and retheme it for something else. And I've done that with absolutely no problems. What should I look out for if I was to buy an expensive expired domain with great links and metrics to retheme as a review site? Again, just make sure it's not penalized. Put up content and do penalty checks on it. That can also help you determine how powerful it is, by how well you rank for certain words that you have in your title and URL and all that. Before I send a PBN link to a Web 2.0 or money site, it's a good idea to build a few social bookmarking links. I don't usually worry about that fatigue. As a follow-up question to my expired domain question, similar to America Speaks, there is a new domain that is live on the internet that serves as a new version of the expired site brand. I'm not worried about the brand name so much, but will Google treat my site differently if the real version of the site currently exists and is live? This seems to be a situation where the previous owner should have renewed this great domain and redirected it, but they did not. I know, as long as the content's different, you'll be fine there, Ryan. You've mentioned that you have many one-page affiliate sites. Currently, could we still rank one-page sites with one ClickBank affiliate product? Soon we follow your MG formulas. You can, Rob, but I recommend at least doing a few more pages. It just makes it easier. But at the same time, yeah, there's plenty of one-page affiliate sites out there ranking. There's a lot of people that say like you need to constantly update your site. You need to constantly add content to rank, and you need to have a big site to rank. And in some niches you do, but at the same time, if you think about this logistically, how many local businesses out there are just like 3-4 page sites, right? So were they none of them going to rank? And also they don't really update their sites because there's no really need to for a lot of these local businesses. They put up their site, it's information about their business. Unless something about their business has changed, they don't really update the site, and they rank fine. So, more content is better, but at the same time, I think people over-exaggerate that you need to have a ton of content to rank. You do in really competitive niches, but in a lot of niches that people are in here, you don't need a lot of content. I recommend at least 4 pages just to make it easier on yourself, at least 2,000 words throughout the whole site. But I think it's really blown out proportion that you need to keep adding content and all that, especially with a lot of niches people are in here, because again, most people aren't doing that. Local businesses do not really update their sites. Some of them have blogs where they'll constantly add content to the blog, but it's very uncommon. A local business usually will put up a site. Let's go search any local business. Let's go search like a big one. Dallas Plumbers is a big, that's pretty big. Like these guys here, let's see. Remember, this is a pretty big niche. These guys might have a decent amount of pages. Let's see. Yeah, they got a lot of pages. They got a ton of pages indexed. Again, it does help, so that is helping them. Let's go to a more business type site, because that's an SEO site. Let's try these guys. This might be a niche where you need to add more pages. They got 146. Because I mean, Dallas plumbing is that's fairly competitive. That's a huge city, big niche. Let's try something a little less. Let's try like Wilmington, Delaware roofers. Roofers is a pretty big niche, but Wilmington, Delaware is small. They're showing 200. Let's try one more. They're showing a lot too. So a lot of people are showing a lot of pages, but I guarantee you there's plenty of companies out there that don't have a ton of pages that are ranking fine. But again, the more pages you have, it does help, as you see. You know, a lot of these people have a lot of pages and they're ranking better. I want to try just one more. This is something you can always go and look too. You know, go and do searches for whatever niche you're in. See how many pages that the people that you're competing against have. They got 41. And sometimes this number in this tool can be off. Yeah, because they can, like right here, these are like duplicate pages. This node 1, 2, 3, all that. See, a lot of these are duplicates, so these numbers showing are actually really high. Yeah, just stuff like this. I guess these are just like testimonials or something. But I mean, real pages of content, it looks like they might have like 10 pages. They got one for roofing, windows, doors, siding, our work careers, quotes, specials, contact us, you know. So, but yeah, one-page affiliate sites can definitely still rank, Rob. I do have some ranking. I still see them out there in other niches. But again, if you have more pages, it is going to help you. Okay. All right, I've experienced a bigger boost using auction domains versus expired. I scraped a ton of domains and find that I need to build a lot more of these type of PBMs compared to auction domains. Do you experience the same? Oh, absolutely, Angel. That's why I personally recommend auction if you can afford them. Because if you can use less links and rank better, I mean, you're saving yourself the problem of getting. Let's put it this way: the more links you use, the more chance you have of getting into optimization problems. And once a link is built, once there's an optimization problem, it's a lot harder to fix than if you could just use less links and get it done that way. You know, if you run into an over optimization issue, it can be a little bit of a pain to fix. You got to build more links to under optimize it, and it's just, if you can use less links to do something, it's better. As I build out affiliate sites and assuming I'm building them correctly, does it usually take a few months to rank and start making money? I would say now, definitely, Rob. Before, no, but yeah, I would say now, yes. Generally. Where can I purchase Social Explosion? Is there training for using Social Explosion? OMG. It's Network Empire section fatigue, all that stuff in there. I want to rank a money site for multiple keywords which are low competition but quite similar to each other variations. How would you go about the content? Write articles that will contain majority of them or have different articles for them? It depends how similar they are, Lucian, and how big the niche is. That question can have two different answers. Sometimes I'll do it all in one article or all in a few articles. Sometimes I'll spread out through hundreds of pages. It just depends how many I can, how natural it is to fit those keywords together or not. What is the best method for doing keyword research for affiliates? You can look in my Q&A webinars there. I go into keyword research in there in just a little bit. Pretty simple what I do. I just want to write a note for myself, just for testing stuff. I just want to see if this has changed. Maybe the importance of the amount of pages you have is going up. So I just want to go out and research this. Kind of write a note to myself. Alright, so I apologize if this question has been asked. What is a good way to get branded backlinks other than citations? Are local citations bad for your national SEO campaign? You're a great teacher. Thanks, Mark. You can do a press release. Press Cable is a company you can use for that. You can do stuff like blog commenting. We got something in there in the Scrape Op section on how you can get relevant links. And those are two good methods right there. And no, I wouldn't say local citations are bad for national SEO campaigns, but you can talk to Cotton about that because he does a lot more national SEO than I do. I watched your video on 301 redirects. I still have no clue what it's used for. Do I buy a domain from my PBN and then find the links and redirect them somewhere else? If you have no idea what it's used for, David, don't even worry about it. I rarely use 301s unless I absolutely have to. Like, for example, one of my affiliate sites, a couple of them actually do very well. They pull in over 10K in profit a month. I got in trouble for using the brand name, okay, in the actual domain. So what I had to do was make a new site, copy old site to new site, and then 301 the site with the brand in it to the new site. Okay, so what I mean is this. So let's say I had omgmachines.review.com. Okay, this wasn't it, but I'm just kind of using an example. So let's say I own OMG Machines and it was trademark, and this site was making 10K a month or so, and the person who owns OMG Machines contacts me and say, hey, we have a thing for our affiliate program. You can't have OMG Machines in your domain name. That term is trademarked. So what I had to do was get a new domain. Okay, so I did something like maybe OMG, and I got I'll get this approved by them. OMG the Machine Review, and this is similar to what I did. And I said, look, can I get something like this because I need. If I have the keyword to the domain name, the optimization is going to stay the same, even though this is a little different. The optimization is similar, and they approved it. Okay, so they said, okay, you can use this domain because you don't have OMG Machines exactly in your domain. So what I had to do was copy the content here, put it on this new site, and then 301 this over to this site here. Okay, and what this tells Google is that this site right here is now at this site right here. Now the optimization's going to be a little different, obviously, because it's a different domain name, but since I could mostly get the keywords in the domain, my rankings dropped a few spots, and I had to send a couple more links, and then after a couple months, I was back up top. But yeah, I mean, in cases like that, I'll use 301s, or if I'm testing things, optimization type stuff with inner URLs. Like if I had, product name review, and let's say this page here wasn't ranking where I wanted to. Maybe I want to change the optimization by changing the URL. Like maybe I had a whole bunch of product name as my anchor text. I'm like, man, I'm over optimized. One thing I can do is change this page to omgmachines.com just review, because if you get product name out of the URL, then it's going to send down the optimization for product name. It's going to make it not as optimized for that. So what I would do is 301 this over to this page. And then you're telling Google, this page right here is now this page right here. And what that does is it gets product name out of your URL, which sends down your optimization for that particular keyword. So I'll use 301s in cases like that, but outside of that, I mean, I don't use them a ton, but that's what they do. I mean, that's really what they're used for. Not for tricks, but I met a potential client. The service page URLs of this structure are this structure. Will it be a good strategy to rename the URLs to this structure? I create a silo structure as this. I mean, it depends how many pages he has, Pratik. I would have to see that example, I would have to actually look at that site to know that. That's kind of hard to read all that. If we have a page on our money site that has a comment box, Facebook comments or discus, how important is that? In e-commerce stores, I have seen my competition that has on their money site ratings plus auto-generate comments on the product pages, so I'm wondering if having comments on a page plus US rich snippets will help the rankings. It could, Lucian. Yeah, I mean, it's going to put more content on your page. I mean, how important is it is the main question. I wouldn't say it's like super important, but it could help out. For our local clients, do we use location targeting in the Google Keyword Planner for local search numbers? Yeah, I mean, you go by what they tell you for the specific location you're in. Like, if you want to see how many searches SEO Chicago gets, you want to look at, you look at SEO Chicago. I think that's what you're asking. All right, to rank a site or a client site in several different states and cities, do I just need to build links with local anchor text for each of the locations, or is there a better way to approach this? I mean, it depends how the site's set up, Steve, but generally, yes. When I scrape for domains, well, let me show you Cotton's example for that, Steve. So, like Cotton's site, see, he has links going to his homepage about, a lot of links about SEO, and that helps theme his site for SEO, right? So if he put on like a smaller city, he might rank naturally with no links going to that inner page. But a location like Chicago, it's more competitive, so yeah, he's going to have to send Chicago-related anchor text to this inner page. You get what I'm saying? So I mean, it depends on what you guys go onto the homepage, how well the site's themed, and then also the competition of the inner URLs. I mean, I guarantee you he has Chicago-related anchor text going to this page because he does it like we do. There you see right there, Chicago SEO agency. Then he has, branded, of course, SEO Chicago, general SEO, his name, brand, Chicago SEO Consulting, exactly like we teach in OMG, SEO companies in Chicago. So it just depends. I mean, yeah, And then if you go to his Tokyo SEO page, he's going to have stuff about Tokyo. And it looks like Tokyo wasn't as competitive, so he didn't need as many. But his site's very well themed for SEO because of the links going to his homepage. All right. So, like, you see Chicago is obviously more competitive. He needed more links to this inner page to get that ranking. Tokyo wasn't as competitive, so he didn't need as many links for that. It's just kind of naturally ranking off his site being so well themed for SEO. And a lot of that has to do with, links going to the home page and, of course, other inner pages. His whole site's themed around different city SEO, but it's all themed around SEO. All right, let me clarify my 301 question above. Let's say I have an expired niche-related domain with decent metrics, and I 301 that to my money site. What's your thoughts on sending links to that 301 using related anchors to the theme of my money site? I mean, you can do it. I mean, I haven't tested a ton with that, Angel, but I mean, you could do that. I'm just saying it's not much different than sending it directly. I mean, again, you could take down the 301 if something happens, but that's not even guaranteed to take away the penalty or whatever happened. All right, you mentioned earlier that in really competitive niches, you do need a lot of content and also add regular content to rank. Which kinds of niches would you need to do this in? Stuff like car insurance, definitely. Just big niches like that. Car insurance, payday loans. Those are obviously stuff you're going to need more content. I mean, the bigger the niche, the more searches it's getting, the more likely you're going to need to have more content. And again, whatever niche you're in, just go and do searches. That's not something I've looked at in a while, so again, that's why I put this note down. Maybe it's going up in importance in the past couple months. But a couple months ago, when I was looking, I was seeing tons of businesses ranking with just a few pages. And tons of affiliate sites ranking with just a few pages. Let me actually go. This is one of the affiliate type niches or products I was looking at. This is a fairly big affiliate product. I noticed a few one-page sites ranking this a couple months ago. Or not even, well, not one page, at least maybe a few pages. They're going to make me captcha. Oh, come on. Nine results. Okay, so this site right here, ranking number 2, has just 9 pages. Whoops, that's Google. Which isn't that many, okay? And it's a pretty competitive product right here. Magic of making up. So let's go to this site here. Like if it was that important, I could just make a site, create hundreds of pages for it, and just come in and overtake them. So it's not. I mean, it's not. I don't want to say it's not important, but is that 301? Huh, that's interesting. This site is getting 301 to this site up here. Huh. Let's go look at this one. But last time I looked, there was a couple sites on the first page that had like 1 or 2 pages of content. Oh, come on. All right, yeah, this one right here has 1 page. Okay. So where are they ranked? They're number 8 for it, which isn't great, but 1 page content being number 8 for this product is pretty good. So I'm gonna look more into it. Probably later on. Maybe it's going up in importance, but last time I looked, I saw plenty of sites out there with just a few pages of ranking. Totally fine. But I'll look into it, look at my data, and see if maybe the amount of pages you have is going up in importance or not. But as you see right here, there's plenty of sites out there that still have 1 page content ranking just fine. One more thing that I will look at is how many words they have on the page. It's not just about how many pages you have, but also how many words. Like one page of 2,000 words would be better than 3 pages of just 200 words. It's still more words, more content. So they got 1,000 words, which isn't even that many. I recommend 2,000. The ranking first page for a pretty competitive term. Fair, medium to high, a little more than medium, I would say, with 1,000 words, which isn't much, so that's pretty cool. Again, these guys up here only have 9 pages. They're number 2 for it. Alright, to piggyback off the other PBN theme question, if we buy a domain and restore the content, we want to use the PBN to rank a local dentist. Would we add an article with a dentist content on another page in the PBN and use that to add a link? I mean, you could, David, but as I showed with the Delaware Chef example, you don't need to. I mean, they still obviously have very big problems distinguishing relevancy through that because, this one link right here, which has absolutely nothing to do with anything on this page. There's nothing about Delaware on here. There's nothing about chefs on here. And it moved this site right here. It moved this site right here from number 40 to number 5. Okay, and it's probably still not done moving. So, again, totally irrelevant content. So it's just important to know it still works, but at the same time, if there was related content on this page, it might move it up even a little more. All right. How do you typically beat the Google sandbox for newer domains? How soon do you start PBN linking once the domain is registered and set up? You can't really beat it, Angel. I haven't seen any way yet. You just kind of wait it out. That's all. Is it fine to register expired domains and have them sitting for a few months and go to add to that Roman metrics? No, that's fine. Or for silo structure, you recommend 2 plugins, exclude page. Okay, don't manually silo anymore, Lucian. Just go get the vSilo plugin, Network Empire section. I don't really ever manually silo anymore. Hopefully that audio is fixed. I looked down, I didn't see anyone else complaining after this, so hopefully it was fixed. How many words do you like in your articles that you have written for you? It depends on the niche, David. Again, I'll usually go and look at who else is ranking, see how many pages they have and all that stuff. Or how many keywords they have on their homepage at least. So I guess generically on my homepage articles, I like to have 750 to 1,000, but I mean, it really depends. Hopefully that's not keeping up, that sound issue. Are you going to show any more affiliate site examples? Yeah, probably eventually, Fred. And America Speaks, there was a footprint issue there that we addressed. I have an EMD for my current business. Another company set this up for me, and the domain is through GoDaddy. I don't know who they use for hosting. I want to move the domain so I can rebuild the site on WordPress and be in total control of my site and add things to it, which I have to go through this company to do now. The EMD is about 10 years old, so I want to be careful in doing this. Any advice on what to do? You got to contact them for the hosting issue and have the files moved from one host to the other. So you can either have the host do that or whoever that business is do that, but you need access to their hosting information to do that. I bought an expired domains on Juicy. The backlinks and anchors are clean, but when I went into the Wayback Machine, I noticed in 2014 it was a Chinese website. However, I don't see any anchors in Chinese. Would it be safe to use this as a PBN, or is it too dangerous if the website was foreign? You'd have to do the penalty check to see that, Celine. Usually when I see that in the Wayback Machine, I skip them. But if you already bought the site, you might as well put it up and see if it passes. I know posting to multiple money sites from a PBN is riskier. I know money sites can't be on the same hosting if PBNs linking to them. Because there are a certain number of different money sites I can link out to before power of the PBN starts getting diluted. I saw videos you do 2 to 3 links per post, but how many posts can we do on the same PBN? I just want to get the most out of my PBNs. I wouldn't say there's really a limit, Jamie. I mean, I personally think that people blow out proportion how much power is lost by having more links. I mean, I think power is lost each link you add, but I think people blow it out proportion of how much power is lost. So I wouldn't really put a limit on it. I mean, no one in here is going to have the amount of sites the amount of money sites that's going to be too much. You know, no one in here is going to really have more than like 100 money sites. So I wouldn't worry about that. All right, mobile phones, Pakistan.com. The PBN we bought, I'm not sure if it's any good or not. Can you take a look? If the site's up, I mean, I can. I can't give you any guarantee if there's no content on it. But if it's up, then I can do a penalty check on it. Yeah, it looks like the site's not up. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't usually buy sites like this, but you can always put the site up and just see if it passes the penalty test. Whoever asks this, this is hard to tell because I mean, I just don't usually buy sites like that. Well, my customers has locations in different countries across the world, each country with a different language. I don't have the website translate to those languages. Can I add the locations in the footer and have a link them to the subdomains? One of the countries in France, so I have website.com and subdomain fr.website.com. If I just have some short info on the fr.website.com, can I have the France location in the footer interlink? I'm confused how I should be using location in the footer and where to link them. I've never dealt with different countries. I know Cotton has Lucian, so you might want to ask Cotton on that one. Have an expired domain registered at Namecheap, but showing up as Enam in the Whois information. Do you know why that is? I think Enam and Namecheap are kind of owned by the same people, Jamie, so it might have something to do with that. For launch tracking, would you recommend building several sniper websites, or would you build a big authoritative website? I mean, there's benefits to both, Celine. You know, a bigger site that ends up getting hit, you're going to lose everything on it. Sniper sites would be more work, but you could do like EMD type stuff. I mean, it just depends what route you want to take. I wouldn't say there's a right or wrong there. When working with local clients, I was asking if you would suggest using the location targeting filter on the left-hand side of Google keyword tool, for example, typing in Chicago in the location filter, and then typing in dentist in the keyword tool to check for monthly search instead of typing in Chicago dentist. No, I mean, I just type in Chicago dentist or whatever. I wouldn't worry too much about that, David. Thank you, Mark. Do you use indexation or do you sit and wait for links to appear? Usually I sit and wait for them to appear, Mark. Unless it's some type of like, third tier type thing where there's lower quality links, which I don't do very often at all. They'll index themselves naturally. Like my PBNs I use, they're going to index naturally. So I just let them be done like that. Is there a benefit to footer links? Are these the same as a site-wide link? Yeah, I mean, if it's showing on every page, it's a site-wide link, Mark. Is there a benefit? I mean, not necessarily. I mean, it's the same thing as any site-wide link in my eyes. I mean, it might be treated a little differently. I've never tested it. I'm sure people out there say different stuff on it, but I don't know of anyone that's ever really tested it. I mean, a link's a link to me for the most part. How important is it that the theme we choose for our PBN show the full post on the homepage without having to click read more? I'm fairly new at this, and I don't know if this really matters or not, but I remember you mentioning something about this in one of your videos. I usually do the full sites that show the full post, Jamie. I have been testing a little bit with the read more stuff and seeing how it affects it differently. I haven't seen much from it yet, but most of the time, yeah, I still use the ones that show the full post. Oops. Favorite at Firefox SEO tools? I mean, just my favorite browser tools in general are like the Alexa toolbar, the Moz toolbar. In Chrome, I got this tool I was just using to show the amount of pages and all that. SEO for Chrome, shows the amount of pages indexed, some backlink data, traffic type stuff. So I use that. And then SEO Quake is one I really like using. All this right here, you see across here. I missed what you said about siloing. Do you use vSilo for most of your builds? If I'm siloing a site, yeah, we use vSilo. What was the footprint issue on America Speaks inbound PBN links? No, it was Network Solutions, Ryan. They made a change where they started showing the customer number on some of your sites. Even if you have privacy, it didn't matter. They would say privacy protected and all that, but there's a section in there where it would show customer ID. And even though I had privacy, I had like a few Network Solutions sites go onto the site, and because at least 2 of them had the same customer number, that ended up being, I think there was like 3 of them actually that had the same customer number. That was a footprint because 3 different sites on different IPs and hosting with the same customer number shows a footprint. So that's why from that point on I recommend just don't use Network Solutions at all, because that's the second time that I've been burned by them. And it's just ridiculous the way they do business. They should know not to have that type of information into who is data. Like if you're being privacy protected, if you're protecting your privacy, that's not something that should show. My name's not showing, my address isn't showing, but my customer number is, and that can be a footprint. So that's what happened with America Speaks. What's your opinion on the importance of schema markup? What type of markup do you use for a national website? I actually don't mess with schema a ton, Angel, but I know it can help a good bit. But I haven't really messed with it a ton. If after a couple of weeks of, you can ask Fletch about that, Angel. He messes with it a lot. I know that. If after a couple of weeks of putting up a welcome post in one article and a new PBN it's still not indexed, what does that mean? Should I call the host? No, the host isn't going to do anything, Jeff. You got one post, one article. Try putting up a video and just give it a little more time. But a couple weeks not being indexed still, that's not really a good sign. Usually by a couple weeks it should be indexed. Right, so I'm going to take this last screenshot, and then we'll answer these last questions and get rolling. All right, hopefully the audio is okay in the recording. We'll have to see. Sorry about that, guys. All right, we looked at cotton links. Would that be possible if he was using Spider Spanker? If he was using Spider Spanker, then some of those might not have shown. I don't know exactly where he got his links from, but if he was using PBNs and he was using Spider Spanker, those probably wouldn't have shown. The new video regarding PBNs that was a mix of yours and James Upjohn's method using PBNs is this the only way you're recommending us to use PBNs now? Not necessarily, Steve. I mean, I think it's more powerful and it's more long-term, but at the same time, as you see with this site right here, 3.5 pages of movement from simply putting up the old site, which has absolutely nothing to do with Delaware personal chefs or Delaware, and we got 3.5 pages of movement. And this isn't even a powerful site. I mean, if you go put this in Majestic, I think the trust flow is like maybe 10. Yeah, 6 for the historic. 6 trust flow, that's low. The fresh index, it's at 11. So, not a powerful site at all. I think I got this site for $8, $8 or $11, and you see 3.5 pages of movement. This took me 5 minutes. I downloaded the site, I uploaded the site, I added in a link. That's it. 3.5 pages of movement. One link, $11 for the site. So, it's not that you have to do it that way, Steve. I think it's a little safer, a little more long term. But at the same time, it's like this stuff still works great. I mean, there's no relevance here. Anyone that tells you need relevance to rank is lying because you don't absolutely need it. Hopefully this recording, I see that my audio is out. I'll try to reconnect here. Can you guys hear me now? Testing. Nope. Can you hear me now? No message coming up. All right, sorry guys, I saw that cut out. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a 1 if you can hear me. No audio still? No audio at all. Testing. Any audio yet? Back. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. My internet cut out. Hopefully, all this is recorded on the replay. And I don't know where it cut out, so I'm going to recover this question because I think it's important. Where were we? All right. So, Steve asked this question regarding PBNs. It was a mix of me and James Upjohns. Is this the only way you're recommending us to use PBNs? Not necessarily. I mean, I think it's more important long term. I just explained all this. I don't know if you guys could hear or not. I think it's more important long term. It can be more powerful. But as we saw with this example right here, I threw up an old site that was $11. Okay, the trust flow is 11, and then historic is only 6. So it's not a powerful site. Absolutely no relevance on the page. Nothing about personal chefs. Nothing about Delaware. Nothing about chefs in general. It took me 5 minutes to download the site, put it back up, and put a link in, and it had 3.5 pages of movement. So if someone's telling you that you need relevance to rank, it's obviously still not true because look what we got here. We got 3.5 pages of movement from a totally non-relevant site. We just have relevant anchor text. So obviously Google is still having a lot of trouble determining establishing if the site's relevant or not. But at the same time, I think if it is relevant, it does help. Like they can in a way, but if it's not, they're obviously not giving it no credit because you saw the movement from this. We did this example kind of running over the last few months. So I mean, it's hard to tell you not to do it because I mean I think it is safer, but at the same time the other stuff's working great. I mean you don't need relevance to see movement, 100%. If someone's telling you that, then they don't know what they're talking about because I mean just look at the example. All right, do you keep a spreadsheet of other links like Web 2.0s? Yeah, I mean just like a money site, Susan. Same thing that I explained in the Q&A webinar. I just put in the Web 2.0 address, just like I track my money sites, and I covered that in the Q&A webinar. And last one from Ryan. I think my money site for my expired example is on Network Solutions. Sound like I would not want to direct any PBM links to it if they were on Network Solutions. Yeah, I wouldn't. The site is built, but I guess I could move the domain out of Network Solutions and manage the DNS from somewhere else. Yes, you could. I just hate Network Solutions. They burned me a couple times, so I don't use them for anything. Unfortunately, there is, auction domains that go there a lot. So you do have to deal with them if you're doing namejet auctions that go into Network Solutions. You just got to transfer them out eventually. All right, guys. So hopefully, again, this recording is intact. There's no sound issues. If you want to go back and look at anything that we went over that was choppy, hopefully that's intact there. But we're going to end this webinar now. I will see you all next Monday. Next week, I'll look at the audio issue, see if I can fix that. And I'll see you guys all next Monday. Have a good day, everyone.